This isn't a part of anything I'm about to say about my job, creative life. These are just really good. Hello. Today I am at the park and I got all dressed up a little more than you normally would for the park, and I have snacks with me and my journal, water, everything that I need, just because I feel like my job has been draining a lot of energy out of me, both mentally and, weirdly enough, physically. So it's just really important that if you have a job that does the same to you, no matter what it is, just be sure to try to reclaim your time on your days off. You'll be really tired. I actually fell asleep at 2 a.m. last night and woke up at 10 a.m. for some reason, and then started doing a whole bunch of things, but I just realized that today is the lovely day, light breeze, and I just need to get outside, and I actually don't feel as tired now, so that's actually really cool. I just want to get right into it. So I work as a creator. That's the official title of this job I work in at a social media agency. Now, it was one of my dream jobs. I had applied to this place multiple times and finally got my shot August of 2021. I'm coming up to a year now. That's so crazy. And oh my gosh, what a learning experience this has been. And if it were anything else, it just has to be a learning point for me to take with the next jobs that I'm going to. And I'm applying right now for new jobs, so we'll see how that goes. My skill set is a graphic designer, so I was applying to a lot of different jobs actually, mostly agencies, big, small, in-house, like whatever that I could find to finally get my shot, because it took me so long. When I finally got let in the door in this one particular social media agency, I was so thrilled. I had been working in hospitality prior, and I learned that this was a work from home role too, which seemed really, really appealing at the time. A few months in, I actually didn't want it to be, because I really wanted to see the office and get really involved in the day-to-day culture. But I kind of like got the sense of knowing people as I was going to my meetings and just like being around the team so often. And I worked for like a really great brand team. I had like a very nice connection. I had used this particular brand's products as well. I'm gonna be eating while I'm doing this. I hope that's not gross. I'll probably cut out the clips of me actually chewing the food. So the job description on the role creator is that you are scoped to do a lot of other things. Even if you have a specialization like me, graphic design, I like to be behind the laptop and make things in Photoshop. I like to make vectors and illustrations. Lately I've been doing a lot more motion design, so that's actually something I've picked up on the job. But me, myself, I'm not ready to do TikTok for brands, especially when a company can put you on any brand team that needs a filling and you might not connect with that certain brand team that you're on, or like the products or any of that, then that can be really difficult. So one day, literally out of nowhere, you just kind of don't get asked what teams that you're going to be on in the future, but I landed on a clothing brand. And even though that seemed cool and everyone was excited about me being able to get some of the products shipped to me, some of these clothes shipped to me, I was not so thrilled, because I don't really wear these particular pieces of clothing, and a lot of what's trending right now is a lot of crop top and a lot of skin. For me personally, like, shoulders are okay, but I won't really show belly. I won't show like a lot of my leg all the time. I'm actually like wearing jeans right now. I'm lucky it's a nice day, to be honest. But I just did not feel comfortable in these clothes that I was now supposed to be standing in front of a video and showing off in TikToks. And unfortunately, just because the role is so vague, that's what I was supposed to do. And I was told actually that it would only be for a few weeks, and that this particular team was going to go ahead and take on other social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, the whole deal, because they were only doing TikTok with us. That actually never came to fruition, and when I questioned it, I never really got an answer. I was just told that it was coming. When I finally spoke to somebody overseeing a lot of our retail brands on the creative side, I was actually told that that was not true, that we were not going to get the chance. I was not going to get the chance to do graphic design. not only that, but I was assigned as the first real creator to this particular brand, and that was really unfortunate. So overall, I would say that if you're looking for a job in the creative field and you get a vague title like that, read it thoroughly. If you get a contract before signing or things like that, or if you have any research you're able to do, talk to anybody. If you know anybody in that particular role, talk to them, because you might not know what you're getting yourself into. Me personally, when I had first started, I was on this one brand team for 6 months doing the graphic design, as I was hired to do, as is what my portfolio shows. That is really what I do 99% of the time. I just could not have anticipated being moved so much and being asked to do TikTok like 100% of the time, which is really sad too, because if you think about it, and you might be okay with it, that's great. But for me personally, I'm also thinking about the future and what I want to take away from this company, and I really need a portfolio to keep building. I need more of these experiences in graphic design. I just want to dive deeper into my particular discipline. TikTok, video will always be a thing too, like photo will always be a thing in some way. Graphic design, same thing. But like TikToking in particular, there will come a day in the future that it's not going to be the main hot platform anymore. And as you guys know, trends come and go. So with video so big right now on social media, maybe we're gonna go back to photo, who knows. So for me, TikToking like 100% of the time, not knowing when I'll be able to move off to another brand again, is just not something that I was interested in. Number 2, company values are something that you should research very deeply. Again, just like you're researching your role, they're interviewing you, you have to interview them back. Ask all the right questions. I may not know exactly what kind of questions that looks like for you guys, but for me, I just tried to ask the manager who was interviewing me, the creative director, just things that she had learned in her time at this company, what she enjoyed most about this company. So it really matters to try to get a feel for someone else's opinion. And of course, no one's really gonna say anything bad if they're interviewing you and they're representing the company. But I mean, I don't know, just do your best. For me, there is a particular, the CEO is actually like kind of this influencer person, so you would think that his values stick to the company because this is his company and he has a wide range of companies. But I found very quickly that that was not the case. So when you're researching company values, check to see not only like who the CEO is or what the website says that this company represents, but people lower down too. If you're able to get quick coffee chats with people down, like working your level, your peers, your coworkers, try to do that too, and try to ask them the same questions, because everybody at every level will have a different opinion. And for me, as kind of the lowest on the totem pole, oh my gosh, there's a squirrel right there. I hope he doesn't try to steal my food. For me, being the lowest like person on the totem pole, creator, it's just a totally different worldview than like big like creative directors and their managers and like the creative department leads are very excited about what we all do here as a company, but I just find a totally different experience for some reason. Also, it is important to know how invested every level of manager you have, or like every coworker you have, every department you guys have, what like percentage of investment they are taking into the time to do the things with you, things that you're doing, whether it's being in creative reviews, being in briefs, making things together with your coworkers is important. I actually had a coworker who really didn't want to make stuff and was very outwardly, he literally said once in a meeting, 2 meetings actually, that he was lazy to even update the slides with the proper information that showed off the work that he had made. And let me tell you, some of his pieces were very controversial and very not well done. So just knowing how much each person contributes and if you're contributing more than you need to, like, why is that? And think about, will it burn you out? Because as much as I did love my first team and learn a lot, I did get burned out pretty quickly, and I was asked to stay overtime quite a bit during the holidays too. That's a busy time for everybody, but like every single night, even when you work from home, mentally it's a lot, and it is really hard to turn off your brain when you're like me personally. Since I have roommates and I live in smaller apartments, then I'm working in my room and I'm sleeping in my room and I'm chilling in my room, and just like a lot of things happening in my room. So that burnout was just a big no-no for me, because I just could not separate mentally getting off of work and then trying to relax off of work. These mangoes are good. Also, I forgot to mention that, oh, I think I did mention just like how involved leadership is, but is your CEO around, and what do they do? And because mine personally like isn't, and that could be a huge reason why things look very different from what he preaches on social media. I do believe he's a practicer of what he preaches and that he lives it every day, but for him to stay involved on that side, working kind of as his own brand, and then all these companies that he has, it is just very impossible for him to work day to day. Which kind of leads me to my next point, number 3. If you're in a creative role like I am, is it creative led? Because that's what I noticed about my CEO, is they are very business led, and I mean, duh, you have to have that business knowledge to be able to run things and grow things and get things going with clients and have all these different teams. But like creative department leads, are they very pro-creative? Do they know all the resources that you need? You will need things like rental equipment if you want to make really high quality things for brands. A lot of people say it's not really necessary and you should make it look UGC, but truth be told, I think some of these things could do a lot better, and I think people really appreciate an artistic style, and that's probably just my graphic design speaking. But me personally, I do put a lot into my work, and I do make it very professional and just try to be super A1 about my design work. What I struggle with, and I have the tools to do that, because it's just like applications on my laptop, and I have my sketchbook, and I just don't need very much for that except my thoughts and those things. When it comes to doing things like, I have made Instagram reels that I've tried to make way more high quality than just like a silly trending TikTok. You're gonna need the equipment to do that, and what I lack in a small apartment is just, there's a lot of clutter in our apartment from all our roommates, and just no space to really put like blank boards and like big tables, so that way there's like professional backdrops in the products that I'm shooting if I have to use myself. And good lighting does not exist everywhere around these kinds of apartments in New York City. So things like lighting boxes, some people have expressed concerns over not having the like newer iPhones, whatever, and stuff that have supposedly the better video quality. I shoot my stuff on my iPhone XR, and I haven't really, like, it's not really necessary for me. Like, we don't need to buy people phones that work or rent phones like that, unless like you really don't have one, then fine. And just a whole other list of equipment and things you need. So if you have creative like minded leaders who understand what creatives need to get the work done, then like you're way ahead of the game, and just that's just how it should be, to be honest. Every company should have that if you're making like creative work. Another point is just analyze every day what you're doing, set the boundaries, make sure you guys all are on the same page as a team. I felt really awkward having to be more proactive about what the team needs and how to pull certain departments together, and just like what works in your creative pieces and what doesn't. That's something you will, if you work at this particular company, you will have to be very in control of. Me personally, like, I just don't want to keep putting things out onto these big brands And like if it gets very little engagement week after week, then I just have needed to come and see why and be proactive about it. Make sure you can schedule time in with your leaders about these things. If you don't have leaders to do that, then it just makes it so much harder, which that's kind of how it was for me. I think a lot of people will think it's weird that I'm filming this as I'm still working there, but I personally just don't want to fear the retaliation of speaking out on my own time for these things. I vent a lot to my friends about it, and they can see that I'm really not happy. They can see that I have drained energy, or I just kind of always have some problem with the work culture or with somebody. As many teams as I've been passed around to, it's just been a little bit of a struggle, and that has to come down to ultimately leadership, because I love my peers, and then just also again the resources, and will they use you as a resource that you just couldn't have anticipated beforehand. I just don't want to be afraid to say these things. I am applying the jobs now, kind of knowing what it is that I think that I want. I'm not completely sure. It's only my first job. There will be many more to come. I'm just hoping that this very first experience will give me the leverage to get the second one a lot easier. The first one took me 3 years to get, post-college. Like, it's a miracle that I even got here, to be honest. And while I'm so grateful for that, I can acknowledge that I just had different expectations. Why that is, I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna be trying to figure that out. I think it'll be easier to figure out exactly like what went wrong, why I feel so like different and outcast from everybody, and just reflect on that when I'm finally out of that, and I can compare it to hopefully a new and better experience where I'm doing a lot more, I'm a lot happier, I'm a lot more connected to my leaders. I feel like I'm being paid fairly. I feel like I have the right resources that I need, and all those things. Now, what I've heard in some interviews is that people now, like recruiters and stuff, have told me that they appreciate a scrappy creator, and I've heard that before at my own job too. And personally, I've never seen a circumstance or can think of one where that's really a positive thing, except if you're starting your own personal business with a few people. Other than that, like if you're a big company, you should have the budget, you should put these things in place, because like we shouldn't have to be scrappy creators for big companies, especially if we're working day in and day out creating an endless vortex of content that has to go out. It's just impossible. Other than that, some of the mental and physical problems I've had, besides just 24/7 thinking, and like I said before, just the separation of space between work and home from where I'm at right now, it's just like I feel sad not really feeling like I fit in, or like I can really be or show any sort of my personality at work. It's just all business, all work, all the time. Up front, just don't face cold, to be honest, just because I don't want to mingle or have any more problems. And then for my for my physical health, working from home has caused me to be sitting down a lot more, which I honestly do have more control over this. So like I take full responsibility for the physical problems, but I have plantar fasciitis. It's kind of like an inflamed tendon in your foot. I've had it for a few months now. It just kind of came on randomly, and that can happen. So just because I was sitting down all the time, not stretching or exercising my legs enough, just like tore that tendon in my foot, and I went to go see a podiatrist about it. And I'm trying to overcome it. I have exercises to do, and I'm trying to get out and walk a lot more, even though it kind of hurts on my heel. But the more that I build up the strength again and do that, the better it'll be off for me. And this is actually the first time that I've ever bought a gym membership, so just trying to be mindful of how often that I exercise a lot more, because when I was working retail and hospitality, I would be on my feet a lot more. So I don't want to talk too much. I feel kind of crazy already with people walking close by in my vicinity. I want to end it there. I probably will make another video deep diving into the actual creative thoughts and just like best creative practices that I myself have learned at work, like tools, executions, idea making, and things like that. So if that's something you want to see, let me know and stay tuned. And any questions you have are so welcome. I feel like I feel like a real YouTuber, but I'm not. But I don't know what I look like right now to any of these people. I just really needed to speak my mind and to get it out there and see if it helps anybody else. So I will see you guys in the next one, and have a lovely day, weekend, night, morning, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I hope it's awesome. I'm gonna finish these snacks. Bye.